everyone, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we have my July book haul. So I think I have 13 books to show you all today. I only have 5 physical books, and then I do have some ebooks. We're gonna do physical books first, and then we will get to the ebooks. So the first one we're gonna start with is my pre-order. I pre-ordered from Barnes & Noble a novel love story by Ashley Poston. I read The Dead Romantics a couple years ago, really enjoyed that one. I do also have the 7-Year Slip that I have not read, but this one also sounded very intriguing. It's gonna be about a woman who really loves reading, especially romance books, and then I think her car breaks down and she ends up potentially in a romance book. I'm very curious about this one. I have a couple friends that we have some similar and dissimilar tastes in romance who actually DNF'd this book, but I'm still excited for it. I don't know when I'll get to it. I do also just really love the colors of this one. So yeah, the next one that I have here is technically a pre-order, but it was a Kickstarter one that I did. I did a whole unboxing of this. I will leave a link down below for you. But it is Secrets of Blackthorn Hall by Cassandra Clare. This is obviously part of the Shadowhunter world. I do believe most of the stuff that was in this, if not all of it, was actually stuff that she shared on her newsletters. After this series that this is following, the Dark Artifices finished up. It's following the Blackthorn family. They were the main characters of the Dark Artifices. And this is sort of after that series, I think going to be bridging the gap a little bit into the Wicked Powers. So I definitely want to read this. I have not kept up with it at all. I don't think I've read very much of this previously. It is a Kickstarter, so they have no plans to make it a traditionally published book yet, but it does have some really nice illustrations. Here's our end papers, and then it actually does have some full page illustrations throughout. I think this is the exact same one that I showed in the book haul when I unboxed it. There's more. There's definitely more. I don't really want to spoil too much, but they definitely have more. They also have these kind of things, so there is full color illustrations. The paper is really, really nice. And there's sort of letters and texts and diary entries and that kind of thing, so it's not necessarily a novel. But yeah, I definitely need this one. The next 2 things I have here I actually picked up at Costco during the same Costco trip. These ones here, so let's get into those. The first one I have here is The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood. And this follows a woman who has just recently died. I think she chokes on microwavable food in some way. And she meets this guy in the afterlife, but I think he goes back, so maybe he wasn't supposed to be dead yet. And in order for her to not be dead, again, I don't know 100% about this, she then has to go down and find him again out of all the people in the world. I really do like romance, but especially when there's some sort of fantastical or magical element in it. So obviously a novel love story, The Love of My Afterlife, that's why I picked up both of these ones. This has been on my radar. I just didn't actually have it as a pre-order, so when I saw it at Costco for $11.99 when it's normally $19, I obviously picked it up. And then the other one I picked up at Costco is Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. So I have not read this author before, however I do know people that absolutely love her. But this one was very intriguing to me. It was on my new releases that I was intrigued by, that I really wanted to read, because it does sound like after their parents die, or maybe it's just the mother, these siblings come back and find a tape stating that there might have been the mother knew about a murder or something to that effect. I, again, 100% don't know. But I was very, very curious about this one. It does sound like it's going to be more of a mystery thriller. I love the VHS sort of style on this. It just looks really creepy and everything too. The little bits of blood and stuff. So yeah, I definitely want to try this one out. And again, Costco, so $16.49 when it was normally $27.99. And then the last physical book I have here is A Sign of Affection, Volume 9 by Sue Morishita. I have not read any of the Sign of Affection books. So this was supposed to be my pre-order for Ally by Junji Ito, and it showed up with my name on the front of the box. The tracking number was the one I got in my email, but when I opened it up, it was somebody else's name, address, packing number, and book. So somebody got the outside and the inside contents mixed up. I called Barnes & Noble. They are sending me a new copy of Ally for free, and they said just to keep the book. So I am intrigued by this manga. The thing is, this is volume 9 out of like 12. I think this is the newest one. It is something that I would like to probably start. Can you guys even see this? It's so blown out. There we go. I would like to try this one. It is about, I think, college students, and the woman is deaf. And I am very intrigued by it. I've heard good things from people that have read this before. So I have volume 9 of a manga that I have not started, but I mean, now that I have it, I probably should. Okay, and now we're gonna be moving into the ebooks. I obviously have 8 ebooks here because I said I had 13 books. We already did 5. The reason I have these ebooks is that Feb, Fantasy Romance February, does newsletters and giveaways and things like that every so often, and so this one was just 31 days of fantasy romance books for free if you signed up for those newsletters. So I was sort of picky about what I actually got. I only downloaded 8 of them, and those are the ones that we're going to talk about today. So they're all fantasy romance. They think they're all indie published. Some are short stories, some are novellas, some are novels. It just depended on what the author put out, and I'm very intrigued by the ones that I got. So we're going to go over those. So the first one that I picked up is Heartfall by Lisette Marshall. This is a short story in the world of her Fae Isles series. And it says, a divine accident gave Rapunzel the power to create gemstones locked up in a tower for her own protection. She spends her days scaring off money-hungry visitors until a particularly arrogant warrior catches her eye in an entirely different way. But will he stop trying to kidnap her long enough to fall in love? So it is a short story set in this world. I don't know if they're all fairy tale related. This one is going to be Rapunzel. And one thing I do like about Feb, whenever I get their newsletters, is they have books listed by spice rating or like heat rating. I don't know what they call it, but so they have peppers. They go from a 1 pepper, which is low heat. There's a 2 pepper, which is smoldering. 3 peppers is hot. 4 peppers is scorching. And I want to say there might be a 5. Maybe scorching is the most. But so this one is rated a 3 for hot. So yeah. The next one I picked up is The Ocean's Mercy by Jessica S. Taylor. This one is 1 pepper for low heat, and it says, tossed overboard by superstitious pirates, Bridget's fate was left in the hands of the ocean, and instead of death, the seas gave her mercy. The Ocean's Mercy is a prequel novella in the Sea of Caladan duology, a dark fantasy romance where bloodthirsty sirens meet vigilante pirates. Now this one is a prequel novella with low heat. I want to say that could be because maybe there's not as much established romance, because the other books in the series, I do think Feb has rated them a higher heat level. The next one I picked up is A Dance with the Fae Prince by Elise Kova. This is in her like Married to Magic series, and I did read A Deal with the Elf King a few years ago, and I gave it like a 3 or a 3.5 stars, but I'm still intrigued by this because I have read other books by Elise Kova that I gave like 5 out of 5 stars. So this one says, Katria swore she'd never fall in love, a vow she doubles down on when her hand in marriage is sold to the mysterious Lord Fenwood for a handsome price. However, her new husband makes not falling in love difficult, especially when she finds out he's a blisteringly handsome Fae Prince who's fighting to reclaim his throne. And this is going to be a 2 or smoldering spice level. The next one I picked up was Fool the Demon by Stacia Stark. It says, to steal an ancient Fae artifact, I need to fool the deadliest demon of them all, wish me luck. That's all it says on here. This is like a summary of all the ones that came out during the month of July. And so I get the newsletters, and the newsletters give a little bit more about the book that's currently free, other books that you might want to read by this author, and then I do usually look them up. It says it's going to be a 2 or smoldering heat level. I don't fully remember anything else about it, but I did pick this one up. Then I also picked up The Stolen Apocalypse by Jacqueline Benson. It says, what Victorian wedding would be complete without a missing manuscript, a potentially deadly belfry, and a crypt full of exploding coffins? Join suffragette and scholar Ellie Mallory on a wild romp through a Gothic priory in this swashbuckling prequel to acclaimed historical fantasy romance Empire of Shadows. Again, this is going to be a 1 or low heat, and again, I think it's because it's a prequel to the actual fantasy romance. I think this one I picked up mostly because I was actually intrigued by the first book in the series more than the prequel. But I mean, this was the free one. I do want to try it out. Then I also picked up Mayfly Library by Sarah K. L. Wilson. This is the same author as Fly the Arrow, which is somebody picked it for my 12 and 12 books this year, and I have not read it yet, but I want to. And this one says, Julie Wren. I'm having a hard time pronouncing this first name here. Julie Wren is sent to marry the keeper of a magic library only to discover he didn't ask for her and everything has gone terribly wrong. It is a 2 heat level or smoldering. Then I also picked up Lucifer's Daughter by Kel Carpenter. It says Lucifer's daughter meets the 4 horsemen in this steamy why choose paranormal romance filled with dark humor and heart. You won't want to skip this read. I was intrigued by this. I'm not into like dark romance, but I think because it seems to be leaning more into paranormal versus dark, I do want to try this out. And this is a 3 or a hot steam level. And then the last one I picked up is somehow not in that summary email of everything we got in the month, but I did pick up Mermaid's Return by A.L. Noor. This is a complete trilogy, which I'm curious about, and it says Mermaid's reproductive cycle is controlled by the salts, and it is time for Mira to leave the ocean and find a mate. Follow the ups and downs of Mira's return to human form and her search for the one. It is a full trilogy of 2 novellas and 1 novel. The heat level is a 2 or smoldering. As we can tell, I don't usually pick the 4 or the scorching heat levels much when they give me this. But yeah, I'm very curious about this one. It wasn't in the other thing, but it's a whole trilogy. I think it's leaning more into young adult / new adults. But I'm very curious about it. So yeah, everything that I downloaded for free, I was picky about. I did want to make sure the tropes and summary and things were things that I liked, or I got the one that was free, like the prequel short stories or novellas, because I was then interested in the rest of the series. So we'll see how those go. And that is everything that I picked up in the month. Ultimately, not too bad. I mean, when obviously you have free ebooks, how can I say no? I was very picky about it, but I mean, like, how can you say no? And if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos. I do have videos coming out Tuesdays, Thursdays, and sometimes Saturdays, so I will see you then. Bye!